Namaskaram students. Now let us move on to the 18th chapter. We have discussed about all the performance of contract and what is direct taxes, indirect taxes. Let us continue, let us recap. What is the finance? What we need to do business, we need finance, isn't it? If you want to do business means we need finance. Finance is the lifeblood of the business, isn't it? So, what is the source of finance? A source of finance refers to where a business gets money from to fund their business activities. Where the business can fund their money, where they can get the source. What are all the sources of business? Business can get finance either from internal sources or from external sources. What are the internal sources and what are the external sources? Let us see we can see the introduction and then let us get into the topic. Source of finance for business, or we can have equity. Equity means what? Where we can get the any shares and debts, debentures and retained earnings. What are all the earnings we have already? We have the earnings. Previous business we have done, for that we have some earnings. In that business we have earned some money. That money can be, we can keep it as a capital in this business, and then we can get term loan for working capital, and then we can get letter of credit. Letter of credit already we have seen in the import and export chapters, isn't it? Trade procedures chapters itself we have clearly explained about the letter of credit. Then venture funding. Venture funding means all the institutions like factoring institutions and also mutual funds, and then lot of factoring institutions we call it as a venture funding capital. So these are all the sources of funds and are used in different situations. Different funds we need. To different situation we need different kinds of funds. So they are classified on the basis on the terms of period and also on the time of period, ownership, control and their sources of generation. Now, what is the meaning of source of business finance? What is the meaning of source of business finance? Now let us understand the heading of the lesson. What is the meaning? The provision of finance to a company to cover its, we have to cover the short-term working capital requirement and long-term fixed assets and also investment. While we are doing the business means we have to cover the short-term working capital in business needs, and also we are doing the business now at the time itself we have to purchase any fixed assets. So for that also we have to allot the money for long-term fixed assets and investment. So the company's owned retained profit is the primary source of internal fund. So already for before 4 or 5 years we have started the company means previous all the 4 or 5 years we have earned profit, isn't it? So that is called retained profit. So that retained profit is considered as internal sources. Now let us move on to what are the types of finance. Common finance, the term loan and also a lump sum repaid over a fixed time, and the credit card. We are using the credit card funds, isn't it? So that are available to use whenever we need. We are going to swipe the credit card. Like debit card, just like that we are not going to bother about the interest of the credit card. Just in that the moment we have to bypass the moment. We have to meet out that moment. We are thinking like that only. We are not thinking we are not thinking the consequences. So peer-to-peer lending. So one businessman is lending to the other businessman, or else we can lend, and also that is called peer-to-peer lending. We call it as a crowd-funded loan, and then we can get the loan from the friends and families. When those close to you, they will lend you the money, isn't it? Those who are very close to you, those who are a well-wisher of you, they will lend the money to you to do the business. Then, an advance on the invoices you have issued, that is called invoice financing. So, already you have issued invoice now, from that you can get the advances. Now, let us move on to the lesson, that is, what is business finance? What they have given in your lesson, what is the introduction of business finance and what the business enterprises is needed, meaning, nature of business finance and what so many authors given so many definitions, particularly two authors definition on we are going to discuss now, and what is the nature of business finance and what is the significance of business finance we are going to discuss today. Now let us get into the topic. In the previous chapter, highlighted the importance of insurance, isn't it? So the present chapter is going to enlighten us on the concept of business finance. So need for the business finance and what are the source of funds and what is the importance of saving and personal investment avenues, what are all the personal investment avenues, and then these are all the headings we are going to discuss. Already I have told you, finance is the lifeblood of the business. Not only business, vitamin M is very, very important to run the day-to-day life. Without money, you can imagine the life. We will feel unsecure. So, business enterprises, no business enterprises can function without finance. Is it possible to start the business enterprises without finance? No, it is impossible. Business enterprises need finance. For what we need business enterprises need finance? To meet out the fixed capital and also the working capital. What is meant by fixed capital? To purchase of plant, we have to purchase machinery, we have to purchase the furniture and fixtures, and we have to purchase the vehicles. And then apart from that, land, buildings and all the fixed assets consist of movable asset and also immovable asset. For that reason, we need finance. Then, working capital. What is working capital? To meet out the day-to-day expenses, we need money. That is called working capital. So, purchase of raw material, we have to give salary and wages, we have to pay the telephone bill, we have to bring all the raw materials to our business premises. For that, we have to pay carriage inward and electricity charges, premium. If you have taken insurance policy, for that we have to pay the premium. So these are all called, we have to meet out the working capital. We will invest capital, isn't it? All the business enterprises, you can think accounts first sum, this commenced business with cash rupees 5 lakhs. So capital is the main thing to start the business enterprises. So that capital, if it is a very big concern, we divide whatever it may be the concern, whether it is a big concern or small concern, we will divide this capital into two. That is fixed capital and also working capital. For initially, we will segregate the amount for fixed capital and then we will take the money for working capital. See, for example, we have invested 10 lakhs. The capital is 10 lakhs. So, for that, for working capital purpose alone, we will take from the 10 lakhs, we will take only 2 lakhs alone. We are not going to take all the capital together. Remaining money will be invested in the fixed capital. Are you clear? Then only we can do the business for long run. Then purchase of plant, machinery, furniture, fixtures and also vehicles. If any car want to purchase, if any van want to purchase to distribute all our products, that is called vehicle, and so many things, land, buildings, everything. While working capital requirements include purchase of raw materials, payment of salary and wages, incurring operating expenses like a telephone bill, carriage inward, carriage outward, electricity charges, and premium, insurance premium, stationery charges, and also everything we need, isn't it? Who is starting the business? The person who is commencing the business, that person we call it as a promoter. Who is owner or promoter? Then only it is easy for you to learn in 12th standard who is the promoter. You can learn who is starting the business, who is advertising the business. He is called as a promoter. So the owner or promoter has to estimate the business finance. He has to estimate. So how many amount we need to run the business. For example, 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs or 3 lakhs, whatever it may be the amount can be estimated by the promoter, or otherwise we call it as a owner of the business. Then the term, next one is accordingly look for various sources for financing the operation of the enterprises. Then the term source of funds denotes various avenues of mobilization of funds. Source of funds means what? Various avenues of, we are going to mobilize the funds for various avenues. We are going to segregate the money for fixed capital, and we are going to allot the money for working capital. That is called various avenues of mobilization of fund. How we are going to mobilize the fund for a concern. So this chapter we can throw light on each source of capital, each source, how to invest. Now let us move on to the meaning and nature of business finance. What is the meaning of business finance? What is business finance? Why we need to carry out the day-to-day operations? We need business finance. Simple thing, isn't it? So the term business finance denotes the economic resources we need. It is employed in the business enterprises. This term includes money and also credit employed in the business. See, some person they can give cash and get the product, or few persons we are going to sell cash sales also and also credit sales also, isn't it? So for both the purpose we are going to maintain the accounts, isn't it? So how many debtors and how many creditors, everything. So like the same way, money and also credit employed in the business, that is considered as a business finance. So business finance is mainly concerned with arrangement of cash and credit for the business enterprises to carry out their day-to-day operations properly, promptly. For that reason, they have to meet out the cash and credit operation. Then for that purpose, they need the business finance. So it is clear from the definitions we can get that term business finance is mainly concerned with not only acquisition of funds from various sources, but also with the effective and efficient utilization of the funds mobilized thereof. See, not only we are not going to get the funds from the various sources, we are going to use the funds, whatever the funds we have, we are going to utilize the funds in the effective manner, efficient manner. Then only we can do the business for the long run. So we can often, again I will come to the accounts. So each and every subject is interlinked and interconnected. So business is a going concern concept, isn't it? In commerce also there will be a saying, in joint stock company we have studied, men may come and go but organization is forever. The organization is forever, but men will change often. So for that we have to run a long run business, means we have to utilize the business finance in an effective manner. Then only our business will withstand in the market in long run. Now let us move on to the definition. The finance. What is meant by finance? What is meant by that? The finance function is the process of acquiring. How we are acquiring the product? Acquiring the fixed assets. acquiring assets, what we are going to do? We are going to keep as it is? Not. We are going to utilizing the funds by a business. That definition was given by R.C. Osborne. That definition is given by acquiring the finance, acquiring the assets and utilizing the funds. Acquiring and utilizing the funds is a finance business. Then the definition is given by V.O. Wheeler. With finance is that business activity. What is a business activity? Finance is the business activity which is concerned with the acquisition and conservation of capital fund for what? In meeting the financial needs and overall objectives of the business enterprises. So what is the overall objectives of the business enterprises? To meet the business funds, to meet out the business activity. For with what? With the acquisition and conservation of capital fund in meeting the financial needs and overall objectives of the business operation. That is called, the definition is given by V.O. Wheeler. Now, let us move on to the nature of business finance. What is the nature? For what reason we are going to follow the characteristics? We have derived a lot of characteristics and definition. What is the reason for nature of business finance? Business finance comprises of all type of funds. All type of funds is needed. What are all type of fund? Short-term fund, long-term fund and medium-term fund. Isn't it? If we need short-term requirements means we will approach for the bank for OD facility. So now let us discuss about remaining everything. Long-term funds means we will approach for some other more than 5 years loan we need. We can approach depending upon that loan. So all type of organization, namely whether it is a small, medium and large enterprises, requires business finance. Whatever all type of organization, whether they are started with a low capital investment, what they need? They need finance, business finance. But the variation is with the business finance, they can vary from it is depending upon the nature of the business. The amount is varying from the nature of the business, isn't it? So the volume of business finance required varies from one business enterprises to another. So how it is depending upon its nature and size of the business, the volume of business can be vary from the one business to another business. So in other words, small and medium enterprises they will require relatively lower level of business level, isn't it? The small and medium level of business, they need only 5 lakhs or 3 lakhs within 10 lakhs capital. Whereas in the large scale enterprises, they need more than 10 crore or 10 lakhs or 50 lakhs or 25 lakhs. So they need, depending upon their business size, the volume of the finance will be vary from business to business. And also, amount also varies from the amount of business finance requests also differ from one period to another. In other words, the requirement of business finance is heavy during the peak season. If there is the demand for the product is very much, that season, in the peak season, we need more finance to produce the product. We need more finance for working capital and also the fixed capital. So it is while it is at low level during the dull season. If that season is very dull, we need very low level of finance. So the amount of business finance determines the scale of operation of a business. Whether we are doing a large scale of operation, we need more amount of money. Whether we are going to prefer the small scale of business operation, we need amount of money will be much less. So now let us move on to the significance of business. Let us move on to that. What is the significance of business? Next, let's move on to significance of business. What we need adequate finance, and for what reason we need finance to purchase the raw material, and we have to pay the prompt payment, like we have to pay any salary, wages, and electricity bills, all the expenses we have to meet out all the expenses in the prompt time. And if any uncertainty will come the business, we have to take risk, isn't it? Already in the previous lesson we have studied insurance. Why we are taking the insurance? To bear the uncertainty. For that reason we are taking the insurance. So to face the uncertainty, we need finance. And to increase the manpower, to increase the talented manpower. So significant business enterprises can function effectively and efficiently only with adequate business finance. When we can run the business efficiently and effectively, if there is any adequate business finance, without fear, we can run the business. It cannot expand its operation without business finance. If we have plenty of finance, we can expand the business. If we are not enough funds, means we can't expand the business. Then the success of any business firm depends upon, to a larger extent, on the manner in which the mobilizes, uses and disperse its fund. How we are mobilizing the fund, how we are dispersing the fund, how we are utilizing the fund. It depends upon, it will determine the success of the business. Then the few points they have given, these are highlighted, the significance of business finance. A firm with adequate business finance can easily start the business venture. Those who are having the adequate finance, they can start the business venture. You know what is venture? Venture means business. Venture means what? Venture means business. Then next one is business finance helps the business organization to purchase raw material from the supplier easily to produce goods. They can purchase the raw material from the supplier to easily to produce the goods with the help of business finance. With the help of business finance, they can get the raw material from the supplier. Then next one, the business firm can meet financial liabilities. What are all the liabilities they have in the business? They have to make a prompt payment of salary, wages and other day-to-day expenses, all the stationery expenses, printing expenses, everything in time, with the help of sound financial support. With the help of sound financial support, we have to meet out the prompt payment. For that reason, we need business finance. And next one is, the sound financial support enables the enterprises to meet any unexpected or uncertain risk arising from the business environment efficiently. What are all the unexpected? What are all the unavoidable situations? Can tell me? For example, economic slowdown. There is any recession period, we can thrive in the recession period because of sound financial support and trade cycles. Then another one thing, if there is any severe competition, because of sound financial support, we can produce a very technological product. So we can thrive in the market. And then shift in consumer preferences. The consumer taste may preference. They may change. Depending upon the consumer preference, we can produce the product. Where there is a demand for the product, we can see the market survey and then we can produce the product. For that, we have to spend more money to analyze the market condition. For that, we have to depute a marketing person. For that person, we have to give remuneration, salary. So many establishment expenses are there to expand the business. Then, sound financial position empowers the enterprises to attract talented manpower and introduce what we can introduce. We can introduce the latest technology. If we have sound financial support, we can purchase a technology-driven mission to our enterprises. By then, we can produce more product. so that we can give the product, we can overcome the competition. That is for that. This is the reason for significance of business finance. Now, sources of business finance can be classification of sources of finance. These are classified into three: long term, medium term, short term, and various business finance are classified into three categories on the basis of period, on the basis of ownership, on the basis of generation. Let us discuss this in the next video. Thank you, girls.